Hey there, welcome back to another video here on the channel. So you're interested in learning a little bit more about Ford's infotainment system or digital gauge cluster here in the 2024 Ford Ranger or newer Ford products in general. Well, in this video, I'm going to take you through a full tour and walkthrough of the digital cluster and infotainment system here in this Ranger Lariat, show you all the different pages, menus, settings that you can tweak inside of your vehicle, say if you're interested in purchasing one or have already purchased one and just want to know a little bit more about it. And if I don't answer any of your questions or you still have any questions about it, leave a comment down in the comment section. I will do my best to answer them and direct you into the place where hopefully you can get an answer or show you a little bit more about it. So let's not waste your time, get right into it, starting with the steering wheel controls and the digital gauge cluster, and then eventually move on to the infotainment system. So take a look at the digital gauge cluster here in front of the driver as well as the steering wheel controls. Well, this is a Lariat trim level, which means it has a few more options and features than that of the standard Ranger or some of the other Ford products, which includes a nicer digital cluster in front of the driver with a little bit of additional functionality. And of course, you do have the large vertical infotainment system running the latest sync software. So we're going to run through both these, but first we're going to start with the digital cluster. Now, running quickly through the steering wheel, we have the adaptive cruise control as well as your volume and voice commands here on the left side. And then on the right side, we have most of our controls for that digital cluster, including the back arrow. We have the phone call button, the forward and reverse track seek arrows, including the OK button, say if you want to toggle between different menus. As you can see, it is changing right there. And then finally, we do have our pages button, which brings up the different, kind of main menus for the cluster itself. Where you can change between, and then to go ahead and hit the OK button, and it will kind of pull that up into the actual screen itself. So that's going to be the main functionality in terms of the buttons. So I'm going to go ahead and set the camera up here on the steering wheel, and then we'll run through all of the different pages and settings. So first up, starting with the digital gauge cluster, I quickly want to run through kind of what is available and what each icon on the screen actually means. So this is going to be kind of the main screen, if you will, upon starting your vehicle for the first time. On the left, we have our tachometer with our current gear selection at the bottom. Ambient outside temperature is down there as well. We have our coolant temperature, our oil pressure, turbo boost gauge, as well as our current fuel tank level, estimated range till empty, as well as which side of the vehicle the filler is on. You can see the little arrow pointing to the left. That means the filler is on the left-hand side. And then over here, we have our digital speed readout. We have our lane keeping assist systems on and off icon. So if you hit the steering wheel button and turn it off, you can see that icon does disappear. And then if you turn it back on, it will come back. Our odometer for the vehicle, so all the mileage on the vehicle, our compass down there, as well as engine stop start on off, as well as our safety systems on off down there as well. And if I do unbuckle the seatbelt, you can see the seatbelt warning icon does come up and change on the middle screen along with that little icon in the corner. Now in the middle of the screen, that's going to be the main portion that you can customize. Now using the little pages button on the right side of the steering wheel, there's going to be a bunch of different categories, if you will, my view, trip and fuel, off-road, etc., that you can switch between in the center of the actual screen itself. And then there's going to be additional sub menus or options that you can change within each category. So these are kind of be the main categories, if you will, that you can cycle between. Now, starting out with my view, this one can be customized a little bit. So you have different sub menus here that you can toggle between to actually keep up on the screen, and then you can customize it if you wish using the arrow icons again on the right side of the steering wheel. So starting out with calm screen, this is going to be a way that you can kind of get rid of the tachometer and most of the other information on the screen and just have your fuel range, your current speed, along with your safety systems on the right. Now going down one, we have fuel economy. So this is your average overall total fuel economy since last reset. Trip 1 information is on here as well. We have your tire pressure, pitch and roll, and then we have OK basically to configure the My View. Now going into the configuration, this basically allows you to select between all of these different items to be able to toggle through in the dedicated My View kind of main category, if you will. So if you don't want any of these showing up in your different options to toggle between, simply uncheck that box and it will no longer show up and kind of scroll down in the My View main subcategory here. You will have to go into the dedicated menu for that item. So basically consolidates some of these other main categories into one view that you can toggle between in quick succession. Now next up, going into the trip and fuel main category here, hitting OK. This gives you all of your trip information, fuel economy, engine stop start, seatbelt warning information, as well as driver assistance. So going into trip 1, this obviously is going to be your current trip information for both of those. I did go ahead and reset this upon getting the vehicle. You can see I've traveled 142 miles, got about 17 mpg with a lot of additional idle time. So that is much lower than you would see on a daily basis. But cycling down, we have our fuel economy, engine stop start, normal operation. That is all normal. Then we have our seatbelt warning, which will basically tell you if the seatbelt is buckled or buckled. So there is that. And then if it buckles, it's green. All is well. And then finally, we have our driver assistance technology at the bottom. Basically gives you a little bit more detail about what is going on with the driver assistance. Next up, we have off-road menus. So this gives you off-road status, pitch and roll, as well as another driver assistance screen. So this is a little cool transfer case setting, shows where the power is going. You have your pitch and roll and angles all at the top. Then we have a different pitch and roll menu there. And then finally, we have, again, a driver assistance page, and that is going to be the 3 items there. Then going into towing, we have trailer information. So this will give you mileage, trailer gain with the trailer brake controller, fuel economy for your current towing session, and then you can press OK for more information. So that gives you your blind spot, backup assist, stuff like that. Pretty useful page, as a matter of fact. Then scrolling down, we have our current trailer light status, so make sure everything is working properly. Towing status, driver assistance, and then we're back up to our trailer information. Next, we have navigation, so you can actually navigate to certain destinations using the steering wheel buttons, as long as they're saved within the POI, favorites, or previous destinations of the navigation. So these are all the items that you can go through here. So for example, POI nearby, you can go through these, kind of general POI, say restaurants, for example, and it will try to navigate and bring up different, restaurants within your current location. So that is a pretty cool, and then obviously you can save favorites and my home to quickly navigate to home if you're away from home or something like that. Then we have our phone settings. So this basically does the same thing. You can manage inbound, outbound, missed calls, or all calls from the connected cell phone to your device. Then we have audio, basically tells you the current source information and what is playing through the actual infotainment system. And then finally at the bottom we have settings. So this is basically where you can configure secondary speedometer, basically have miles and kilometers up all at once. Then we can have turn-by-turn indication, which I believe has something to do with the navigation. And then finally we have configure gauges, which basically is these 2 small ones at the top of the screen. You can turn them on and off up here just by checking that box, or choose between about 4 different gauges that you want displayed between oil pressure, transmission temperature, turbo boost, and engine oil temperature. So you can configure both of those with these 4 options right here and replace them as you wish. So that's pretty much going to be it for all of the different settings. Then finally we have vehicle maintenance, which is tire pressure, engine information, and oil life, which basically tells you your engine hours, idle time, current oil life, and you can reset that oil life from this screen as well if you wish. But that's going to be it as far as pretty much all of the main information that you can pull up here on your digital cluster inside of your Ford Ranger Lariat. Now let's go ahead and move over to the main infotainment system and go through all the vehicle and safety settings there. So moving over here to the vertical touchscreen infotainment system, this is going to be quite a long portion of the video because there's quite a few settings that you can go through, but quickly kind of just running over the screen in general, telling you what everything is. Obviously you have some quick access settings up here at the top, including all of your settings via that screen. So it brings up the entire settings, which we will go into a little bit deeper in a second. Then we have our camera settings at the top. So this is your 360 surround view camera system. In the case of this truck, which you can also turn the parking sensors on and off via that screen right here. Then we have our current Alexa integration icon. So basically you can set up Alexa to use some of the voice commands or Amazon functionality inside of your vehicle. And then over here we have our current Wi-Fi signal, data, GPS, SOS, outside ambient temperature once again, and then our current time up there in the top right-hand portion. And then moving all the way down to the bottom of the screen, we have our kind of fixed in place digital climate controls for the dual zone automatic climate. And then as you can see, we have some redundancy here for the climate controls with some physical hard touch buttons at the bottom of the screen as well. So basically you can change the temperature, you know, do some fan speed adjustment down here, in addition to doing it on the screen, basically whichever you prefer. But if you want to turn on the you know, heated seats or heated steering wheel, for example, you do have to use the touch screen. And as you can see, the heated steering wheel along with the heated seats are all kind of controlled here on the driver's side. And then obviously we have our passenger side heated seat is just one tap away right there. So a little bit, you know, cleanly implemented digital climate controls at the bottom. I don't love the vertical orientation, but again, that comes down to personal preference and everything like that. But a little bit of additional redundancy with the hard touch buttons. And then of course we have our volume knob in the middle that can turn the power to the audio system on and off as well. So clicking the home button at the top there, it does bring a different subset of icons and different main sync tiles to your you know, available disposal. So first up, we have radio, phone, navigation, your current paired Bluetooth device, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, owner's manual, sketch functionality, as well as a dedicated towing page within Ford apps. So going into the radio, for example, this brings up the sync activated, you know, radio screen. So not Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, although that is available on the screen. And again, I will show you that in a second. This is your different source information that you can toggle through at the very top of the screen. And then here's all of your kind of saved shortcuts. If you want to change any of these, you can simply press and hold for about 3 to 5 seconds, and it will override any of these different sources for a current source that you would like to add. Or you can go ahead and hit this little star icon over here, and it will show you that it will show up as a, you know, saved favorite down below. Going back to home, we have our phone icon. This pulls up Android Auto if your device is currently connected and compatible. If it's not, it might show up a different Bluetooth you know, menu for different phone calls or contacts that you've recently had. But in this case, I do have Android Auto paired up to the system. Next up, we have navigation. This brings up the built-in navigation function for sync screen itself. So you can see pinch to zoom and everything works very well. You can do POI or destination searches. We have our current elevation, current town, some other compass settings over here, and then we have a way to change you know, what is being displayed on the screen from weather, where am I, different exits, traffic and alerts can be pulled up here as well. You can see there's no traffic reported. And then we have different parking options. So if you need nearby parking, it looks like it will pull up a little bit of paid parking nearby, although, you know, you can see there's probably on-street parking around as well. So that's kind of the navigation in a nutshell. There is going to be some traffic and 3D things. You can see there's some road closures over here in Davenport, so that's currently not available. But it obviously depends on your area and what data is provided to the actual head unit itself. And then you can zoom in and kind of, it will automatically go down to where you're currently at and change your different views here for 3D, you know, north, up, and three-dimensional stuff like that. So pretty easy to use stuff there. Then we have our Pixel 7 Pro, which once again should bring up Bluetooth audio, and it does prompt for Android Auto because that is connected in the preferred method for that. But if you don't have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay selected, it will bring up a different Bluetooth audio menu. Then we have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. I'll go ahead and skip that really quick. Owner's manual brings up the owner's manual for your current vehicle that you're in, so you can quickly search for different items, how to use them, etc. I really do like how they quickly link this stuff as available tools to your disposal because, you know, say, for example, you're looking for lights. It will bring up, you know, how to use certain lighting functionality for the vehicle, again, once you're in, including exterior lighting control, frequently asked questions, turning on welcome lighting, exterior zone lighting, etc. It's pretty cool stuff that you can actually read and view this information inside the truck, and then it looks like you can bookmark it up there to save it as a quick access point via your bookmarks right there. So pretty cool stuff. Finally, we have sketch. I think you can just basically sketch on the screen and then save it. So, and then basically whatever you do there and save, it will go up and pull here. So if you want to sketch down a note or something, basically do that, and I'll show you how to use the sketch stuff. And then finally, we have our towing modes. So this does have the advanced trailering package on this particular truck. So you can add trailers from here. It gives you some different you know, items or categories of trailers you can choose between here. or you can, do a custom trailer. Gives your trailering checklist, so basically things you want to check for everything is hooked up correctly to safely tow. And then finally over here we have our trailering or towing settings. So trailer light check, connection notification, and then trailer sway control all can be toggled and checked through right there. So that's pretty much going to be Sync's main settings or main pages that you can go through outside of Android Auto or Apple CarPlay if you have a device connected. And as you can see, Android Auto does automatically show up as a quick shortcut at the very top of the screen. Now next up, I want to show you kind of the different vehicle settings that you can do inside of this truck as well. So it's going to be quite feature packed and feature rich, this one being a Lariat trim level, so it will have more features and options than that of the standard Ranger. But anyway, starting out with controls, we have automatic vehicle hold and calm screen settings right here. So basically if you want to turn the screen on and off or just show the time, you can do that, and then you can double tap it and it will bring it back. Next up we have phone list. Brings up your current paired phones, which ones are Android Auto and or Apple CarPlay compatible, and then you can delete them from here as well with the little trash can. Change between, if you're using Android Auto, Bluetooth, or just phone only via those quick icons, and then you can set ringtones and stuff via this screen as well. So pretty customizable experience for your phone. Next up we have our driver assistance, different settings here, and once again there is a lot to go through. So we have different cruise control methods, adaptive or normal cruise control, toggling there, lane centering, speed sign recognition. You can change your tolerance for the speed that you're currently traveling on the roadway. So I believe if it senses a 65 mile an hour zone, it will allow you to go either 0 or up to 20 miles an hour over the current speed sign recognition. I believe that's what it is. Basically, if you want to read anything about them, you can hit these little information icons and it will give you a little definition here, which is very cool. Then we have our speed limit assist, speed warning, or you can do intelligent speed limiter. Lane keeping system basically allows you to change the alert to aid in alert or alert only, stuff like that. And then you do pre-collision assist, all these different settings, including evasive steering, alert sensitivity, all that kind of stuff can be configured through that screen. Rear view camera delay, basically when you shift from drive into or reverse into drive, it will show the screen or the camera for just a couple extra seconds. Then we have our blind spot information, trailer side view on off, park aid sensors on off, basically turn the sensors both front and or back off by individually. Cross traffic alert, reverse braking assist, driver alert, etc. are all going to be under driver assistance. Then we have vehicle settings, which basically is the vehicle power down timer, rear occupant alert, key detection, easy entry exit with the seat adjustment. So basically it will put the seat back when you're exiting or bring the seat up after you re-enter and start the vehicle. We have onboard modem serial number, remote start setup, so you can see different climate, seats and steering wheel, and duration of remote start there. I believe you can actually change it between up to 15 minutes, it looks like, from 5, 10, or 15. Windows, remote open and or remote close, pretty cool function there. Here's our wipers, so we have courtesy wipe and rain sensing, so you can turn the rain sensing part on and off. There's the exterior lighting control, auto high beam assist, daytime ring lights, toggle that on and off. Auto headlamp delay, zone lighting, and then you can see different things you can include or disclude from zone lighting, which is pretty darn cool. Lots of customization there. Locks, unlock, so there is your different auto unlock or auto lock functionality, key free. Basically turns off the passive entry function. Key fob can be used to lock and unlock the vehicle. Mirrors, automatic power fold on off. And then we have our door keypad codes, so you can delete or add new keypad codes to enter the vehicle without the key fob being present. You can simply just use the code on the door. Next we have general. This is language, temperature, different miles and MPG in terms of our measurement information there. Tire pressure, turn the touchscreen beep on and off. About sync, tells us it's sync 4 and all of the current system vehicle information, stuff like that. Software licenses, you can reset Ford Pass Connect or the whole system right here. Turn the screen brightness up, down, reset it or turn it onto auto on off. Here we have the clock settings, so this is automatically updates the time. I would highly recommend turning auto time update on because I was having trouble and it would not retain the actual set time with the this basically toggled off. Basically would just forget what time it is and put a random time on the screen if I did not have that on. You can turn 24-hour mode on off. Ambient lighting can be turned on off. And then we do have the brightness of the ambient lighting right there, as well as 911 assist on off. Next, we have connectivity. This does have a built-in Wi-Fi hotspot, so you can do connected vehicle features. You can see which data is being shared and which data is not being shared with basically Ford and their data collection provider. I know this has been a hot topic recently, but as you can see, there's a lot of things being shared in this vehicle, which makes sense because it is a press loan. We have Bluetooth settings, Wi-Fi settings there, vehicle hotspot on off, device management for the hotspot, wireless app projection. Then we have mobile apps down there at the bottom, and then you can do help with which apps are actually compatible with, I guess, the wireless or functionality of the system. Next up, we have software updates. This vehicle does have over-the-air software updates, which means you can update it wirelessly, and they can update functions and features and different software bugs that might happen over there, which is fantastic to see. But you can turn that on and off if you don't want the latest software automatically being installed on your Ford, without your knowledge. Then we have voice command help down here. You can basically do different voice commands for different apps. So this basically gives you the prompts and different functionality, what you can do with the voice commands, such as changing the temperature, climate, temperature, etc. Pretty darn cool stuff. You can do a wake word, so basically you can automatically prompt the voice commands using only your voice and a specific word that you do choose there. Advanced mode, I think eliminates a lot of the prompts, provides fewer prompts and examples that you can say your command quickly. Phone confirmation, and then voice command list down there. Next up, we have zone lighting. Basically, the zone lighting on the exterior of the truck. You can turn this on and off, and then select which zones are actually being illuminated with the lights on the X side of the truck, and then you can turn on all zones all at once. Pretty darn cool stuff, and then you can go quickly to the zone lighting settings, which brings it back to this page, which we already went on very quickly. Then we have Amazon Alexa. You can set up your account through this right here. And then finally, we have valet mode, which requires a 4-digit PIN number to disable certain functions and features of the vehicle, so people can't, do everything that you can do when you're having the vehicle valeted, say for privacy reasons or, just for theft or, stuff like that. So that is where you'll access the valet settings right through there. But that is pretty much going to do it, I think, for all of the main sync settings in this vehicle. Now, I quickly want to touch on the Android Auto. Now, taking a look at the main Android Auto screen, as you can see, the climate controls as well as a couple Ford Access icons do stay pulled up at the very bottom of the screen right here. So if you quickly want to go back into the Ford towing, for example, you can click that and it will automatically bring up quickly the Ford built-in towing settings. And then going back to Android Auto, you can click that icon up there. Now, of course, you have Google Maps integration. You have some of the other functionality there. Weather, current music or audio being streamed via Android Auto. You have your quick select icons down here, which are, sized appropriately, I would say, to that of the Ford icon. So good job on Ford for kind of mimicking all of the icons roughly the same size. We have your Android Auto notifications, battery life of your cell phone, as well as cell signal over there. Quick access to voice commands right here, as well as your dedicated apps and stuff can all be pulled up via this screen, which I've actually not seen on Android Auto yet. This was a very cool feature. It even has your background from your actual cell phone on the screen, and then all the compatible apps that you can access via Android Auto pulled up right here. And if you want to return to Ford Sync, simply hit the Ford Sync up in the left-hand corner, and it will bring you back to the main screen, where we started on this video. So I think that's pretty much going to do it here for this full tour and walkthrough of the 2024 Ford Ranger Lariat digital gauge cluster, as well as the large vertical infotainment system. If you have any additional questions or comments, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. Like I said, I will do my best to answer them and direct you to the correct answer. Of course, you can always use the built-in owner's manual and search keywords in there to help you navigate the overall system as a whole and direct you on how to use it. But I think Ford does a very good job of giving you those little information icons so you can see what each feature does, what it's supposed to do, what it controls on the actual vehicle, you know, whether you want to toggle it on and off or, you know, change anything about it for your use case. But let me know what you think of Ford's infotainment and digital cluster down in the comment section below. As always, make sure to check out additional content here on the 2024 Ford Ranger Lariat, where I have comparison videos with other midsize trucks as well as a dedicated video on this one. But overall, I really do like the Ranger and highly recommend checking out some of those other videos if you want to know more about it. But overall, I think the system is very good and pretty easy to use on a daily basis. If you guys enjoyed this video and or found it helpful, make sure to hit that like button, share with anybody else that you think could use this beneficial information, and also subscribe if you guys haven't already. If you did find this video helpful and want to support the channel a little bit further, consider becoming a channel member where you get early access to all of my videos here on the channel, or leaving a super chat and letting me know that you did find it helpful and just giving a little small one-time donation. I would greatly appreciate it because these videos do take a little bit of time to edit and of course film in these vehicles. But I do want to also give a huge thanks to Ford for providing me with the Ranger over the last week to test and review for you guys. But as always, I appreciate support here on the channel. And as always, hope to see you guys in the next one.